We have customers and they shop with us, and then I get to go watch them at the race and see like, oh, they bought those shoes for me and we talked about training and nutrition, and then they just did it. And that's like super cool, right? And then you can give them a high five or a hug or whatever, and like, it's just cool to watch, like to know that I had, even if it's a small part, like I had a tiny bit like in them helping them get that goal. And so like, that's definitely the high.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got two very special guests here with me with Manhattan Running Company, Ben Sigle and Trey Vernon. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
You bet. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. So I want to get into it, right? We talked a little bit off camera, and so you kind of told me a little bit about the history of Manhattan Running Company. So what inspired you guys, and what is the background with how you got started here?
Well, it actually started with a college visit, kind of, if you want to go way back. We both went on a visit to Oklahoma State together. We both ran cross country and track there. Both decided to go there, lived together for 4 out of 5 years. Both got business degrees, and then for a while went our separate ways until I called Trey and said, hey, I've got this idea, are you in? And he said he was interested, and so we started working towards that with a business plan. I started doing things on the ground. He was kind of formatting the business plan. And then it still took a little while because he was working another job and I was coaching at Pratt Community College. And then even after that, I came up here and worked for a year while he was still actually overseas at the time working with his job, until I called him and said, hey, I'm ready to do this. Are you in? And he actually said, actually, my company's being bought out. I'm in. And so July 21st, 2008 is when we opened our doors officially.
Yeah, awesome. So you just hit, what'd you say, 16 years now? So
16.
All right, that's fantastic. So I know, and then I also know that you guys kind of have, we talked a little bit off camera where you guys kind of hit a couple of different businesses and things that you guys do there. Do you want to talk a little bit about those as well?
Sure.
So we have obviously Manhattan Running Company, which is our main store, our brick and mortar. We also have Red Dirt Race Management, which we time races, we manage races, we put on races. It's kind of a separate business that kind of runs alongside Manhattan Running Company. The way that's kind of shaken out the last couple of years is Ben mostly takes care of that side and all the logistics with that, and I am more focused on the store. We obviously both intermingle with the businesses and do those things. But yeah, they just kind of happened out of need. We were putting on races of our own, and it just kind of happened that, well, instead of using these old stopwatches, let's find something that's a little bit more technologically advanced and do that. And then people just started asking us, hey, can we time this and that? And so that business kind of just grew into what it is today.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, okay, so talk to me about kind of your guys' mission, your goal here with Manhattan Running Company. You obviously came out of a need, right? Manhattan needed the running company, the running shoes and all that kind of stuff. But talk to me about what your mission is here with Manhattan Running Company.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really kind of came out of, I've said it multiple times, is figure out what you love to do and figure out a way to make money doing it. And Trey and I loved running, and we always have loved shoes. And so we, did some research on other stores and how they got started, and that was part of it. But I mean, the other part of it is just the goal and the mission is to help people stay healthy, doing what they love so that they can stay fit and accomplish their goals. And so that goes from our fitting process to helping people get in the right type of shoe and the right size of shoe and all that fun stuff, to also giving them fun events to train for, or also putting on fun events to bring people into the Manhattan area to help our local economy as well. So it's, obviously the key goal here is, we wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't sell stuff, and that's obviously a very important goal to what we're trying to do. But we also want to inspire people to set goals and go out and achieve them. And obviously, we believe a healthy lifestyle is key to that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a big piece of your guys' community involvement too, right? Like I think, like I was looking at some of the stuff you have, but the Kanza trail runs that you guys have, the Turkey Trot, all of that kind of stuff that you guys put on there. So, but that's a good segue, right? So, talk to me a little bit about what your community involvement looks like, and what you guys have really done to kind of ingrain yourselves in the Manhattan area.
Yeah, so obviously we have the store, and like he said, we're helping people achieve goals that they want to achieve. And whether that's, walking around the block or, doing a 50 miler, we're trying to help you do all of that. And so, as we try to do those things for our community, we do things like our Tuesday night group run. So every Tuesday at 5:30, we have a group run. You can come at any time, all paces, distances, and just join us for 3 to 5 miles, and then usually they go hang out, have some food, and just be a community. So we do things like that. We also put on those races like the Bill Snyder half marathon, the Kanza, which is a fan favorite of everybody's because it's so beautiful out there. But just giving people opportunities to go do those things builds that community, builds that strength, and keeps people coming back every year with more and more goals.
Yeah. No, and I think that, keeping people accountable too, right? I think and giving them a space to do that is fantastic. So, what about where we're at, right? You guys moved over from the space over across the highway there to the new brick and mortar place that you guys. I say new. It's probably not new anymore, I guess. Yeah, so almost 10 years.
Yeah.
But talk to me about the space that we're in. What did that jump look like? And talk to us a little bit about what you guys offer here.
It was really a big passion project for me because we really were starting to outgrow our other space. And to be honest, we were renting, so didn't really want to do a lot of improvements on a building that was somebody else's. Sure. And so when we started looking and this space came available, we jumped on and said, this is it. We liked the spot. It had its own parking. It was its own individual building. And because we're more of a destination spot, we thought, hey, we can make this work. And we needed the space for when we have those group runs and stuff like that. And so once we got this, we really focused on making it look like what we wanted it to look like and putting in nice flooring, nice fixturing, making it really look as premium as what we thought our store was supposed to be. So now that's why we have that. And then, now that we have the timing, we just need space. We have a lot of equipment with all that timing stuff. And so, recently we just had to add an out shed just to add more space for the timing. So we just needed to grow to be able to have all the stuff that we wanted to sell and provide for our community. We also just added a patio so we can do more cool outdoor stuff. We can have a group run and then come back and make breakfast and stuff like that. So just having a space that we could call our own and do the things that we wanted to do was the big driver for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm back to building a community here too. That's kind of what you guys are doing with everything else that you just talked about. So, talk to us about what you guys offer here in store. I know you've got shoes, you've got apparel, you've got everything in between that. So talk to us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, you nailed it. Anything that you might need for any type of physical activity. So obviously shoes is the biggest part of what we do here, but then obviously we have apparel, anything. We traditionally have carried any brand of shoes that we carried. We also usually had some of their apparel, but now most of our apparel is Lululemon. We do some privately branded stuff. We have Viore now in store. And then obviously other things like sandals or slides. We do track spikes for kids during the high school season. Headlamps if you run at night or early in the morning. Garmin watches. Obviously women, we have the bras for them. Socks, which are very important, kind of underrated for most runners, but very important. So anything like that, nutrition products for long runs or for different activities like that. So yeah, anything that you could probably think of that you might need for any type of activity, whether it be short or long, we try to carry here. And we also try to pride ourselves on having a huge selection. If you I don't know, the normal people out there, if you've been to very many running shoe stores, like when I say normal people, not Trey and I, who like have made it our living. You go into most running shoe stores, there's sometimes you get to a store that has a really big selection. Sometimes it's not so much. It's a very small niche store. We've tried to have a large selection of shoes so that when you come in here, you're not just picking from 9 or 10 shoes. You have a wide selection to pick from. So that's one of the things that kind of sets us apart as well.
Yeah. No, and I mean, again, I'm going to try to show as much as I can about the store, but yeah, it's a great space. It's a lot of opportunity here too. So, what about your fitting process? I know that's not necessarily something you get into with every running company or every shoe store or whatever that looks like, and I think that's a little bit unique for what you guys do here. So talk to us about the fitting process.
So like you guys have been talking about, we sell mostly shoes, and a lot of these shoes you can get other places. So really what separates us is we're really a service business, right? So the thing that people come here for and that we do that nobody else in town does is our fitting process. And the fitting process simply involves what's called the Curex scanner, and we have you walk across it. It's a very simple process. You walk 4 times. We get a digital foot scan, and from that, we take that information, and then our knowledge helps us to find the shoe that's gonna help you do what you want to do. So, we ask you a bunch of questions. What are your goals? What are you doing? What kind of workouts are you doing? Are you just walking? Are you training for a 50 miler? Are you going to the gym? Do you just need good shoes because you work all day on your feet? Yeah. We ask those questions, and then based off of the things that we find from the scan, we narrow down the shoes that we carry to try and curate like the best selection of shoes that would be your choices, and then try to make sure one of those fits. And all of that just makes the experience better. And a lot of it is the information we get and the information that we have from knowing all the shoes, the years of helping people's feet. Like he said, a lot of the things we do is just get people in the right size. Yeah. That's our number one thing. People are usually in too small or too narrow of a shoe. And if we can get them in something that actually fits, that will make a world of difference.
Yeah. So it's not just stepping on one of those metal things and you're done?
No, a lot more than that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, taking the care to it too. I mean, and taking the time to do that instead of just throwing shoes out. So, okay. So I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about every business has trials and tribulations, right? So what has been one of your highest highs and lowest lows, and how have you gotten over that? And each of you can go.
I guess I'll start with the low maybe. When we first opened in July of 2008, didn't really know what to expect. It started off very slow. And actually I was newly married. I got married to my beautiful wife, Cheryl, July 5th. We opened the store July 21st. So went on honeymoon, came back, opened everything up. Yeah, it was kind of a crazy time. But I was trying to provide for a family, open a new business. Things started off what we were pretty happy with our first month in August, and then it slowly actually went the other direction for the next 4 or 5 months, even to the point where I was like, okay, am I gonna have to get maybe a part-time job doing something else every other day so that I can help provide for my family? And then for some reason, December, January hit, and it was just a steady incline from that point forward, and never had to do that. So that was, there for a while, that was, start questioning yourself. Ever since then, we've been very blessed, in my opinion, and haven't really had to think about that. Sure. And so that would definitely been my low, is just, that fear of not knowing whether you're going to make it or not. in business, and failing, which you don't want to do. It's part of life, but you just don't want to do it if you don't have to. As far as a high, I just getting to come to work and do. It's not work. I mean, I enjoy what I do on a daily basis. I never dread leaving the house. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wish I could be home more. There are times, especially with our timing business, where I have to be gone for multiple days, and I love being home with my family. So, there's trade-offs there, but it doesn't feel like work when I'm doing it because I just enjoy what I'm doing. And so that for me is just a daily high that I get and be around the people that I enjoy being around. I mean, Trey and I have been best friends since '98, I guess, when we went to college, and so it's fun. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I actually remember Ben coming that first half a year, and he said, "I think I might go see about being a substitute teacher."
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And I was like, "Well, okay. I mean, whatever we got to do."
Well, and you had another job kind of at the time.
Yeah,
supplement
it was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
As far as low, I mean, everybody had it, but like, during the pandemic when we had to be closed, like that sucked. Like for how many months?
It was 6 weeks.
It felt like months, but 6 weeks, just that loss of community, that loss of connection, because that's what we're all about. Like that's what I thrive on is the people, and just losing that was it was hard. Yeah. And the high is similar. Like every day I come to work, it is not work. I don't even think of it as work. But the high is like that connection and getting to know people on a deeper basis. Like, we have customers and they shop with us, and then I get to go watch them at the race and see like, oh, they bought those shoes for me, and we talked about training and nutrition, and then they just did it. And that's like super cool, right? And then you can give them a high five or a hug or whatever. And like, it's just cool to watch, like to know that I had, even if it's a small part, like I had a tiny bit like in them helping them get that goal. And so like, that's definitely the high.
FYI, I still have our notice to close on my wall. That will never happen again. So that low will never happen again.
That's good. I mean, shoot, it's 16 years, and it's been, if that's your low, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So, no, and I love the reminder. That's awesome too. Having that reminder up, there's always a powerful thing. Okay, how do people get a hold of you guys, right? Coming in, walk in the door, make phone calls, make appointments. What does that look like? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, 1129 Garden Way is our physical location. You can always call. Obviously, we're one of those businesses that it's best to come in and get fitted and see what we have, but we also have an online store that you can pre-shop, or you can check out what we have. You can actually buy it. We deliver. If you're in the Manhattan area, we have a program called Store to Door. We'll take it to you, usually within 24 hours or by the end of the next day. And then as far as race timing, it's all on our website. If you have an event that you put on, I mean, that's one of the things. We do time a lot of races for charities. A lot of our events, actually every one of our events, we kind of decided early on to have a charity component to our events that we put on. And thankfully, due to the size of a lot of our races over the last 16 years or however long we've been putting on events, we've donated almost $300,000 to local charities through our events, which is something we love and are very proud of, the fact that we can do that and give back in that way. So, it's not just about making money for us. It's also about improving the place where you live and helping the people in the area. So,
yeah.
And there's no appointments needed for the fitting process. You can walk in at any time and we can help you right then.
Yep.
Don't have to make an appointment. Just come on in.
Yep.
Fantastic. So how can the community help out, or how can the community get more involved with you guys there?
I mean, I just continue to shop with us. I mean, we try to obviously be very competitive on prices. I mean, we're not going to be the lowest in town, but if you're looking for a Brooks Ghost, we're going to be the same price as anybody else. So shopping with us, shopping local. I know that there's local people that work in places like a Dick's or an Academy or whatever. But obviously those are very corporate stores. This is our community. This is where we live. This is where we want to be. Obviously, if we don't have people shopping with us, we're not going to be here. We're not going to be able to put on the events that we put on. So obviously just shopping with us and giving us a chance to win your business. And we think we go above and beyond as far as the services is concerned, like Trey said, whether it be getting a lot of places don't measure your foot. You walk in, they say, well, what size shoe do you wear? And you say a 10. You may be a 10, you may not be a 10. Most times, if they haven't ever been through a process like ours, they really don't know what shoe size they should be in for a running shoe. Yeah. And so, you know, we think we go the, pun intended, the extra mile that other places don't go, and try to make sure that it's a great process, but also something they love and enjoy the shoe that they be in, just so they'll walk back in and say, hey, I want that shoe again, or I had such a good experience last time that we'll do it again. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and just to add on that, I would say if you've never done any of our events, it doesn't matter where you are in your process. You can come walk our events. You can do your first 5K. You can join any of our events. You know, one of our most popular is the Turkey Trot. Like, families do it, little kids to grandma, all together. It's super cool to watch. You can walk the whole thing. Yeah. But just challenging yourself to just go do something and join us. Like, I think if you just do it, you'll have fun, and hopefully that'll allow you to do more stuff with us.
Yeah, awesome. So one last question, and then we'll kind of wrap it up here. But anything that you guys want to add or give to any new entrepreneur or entrepreneurs, or even the community in general? Anything you guys want to add to this before we kind of wrap it up?
I would say the biggest thing, and one of the best things that we probably did before we opened, was the reps that we had to talk to get the shoes that we have, I asked them if there were other running shoe stores in similar size markets to what we were going to open up that we weren't going to be competing with, if they could give me their phone numbers. And I basically just called them with a list of questions and asked them all the stuff that I wanted to know, and they were very helpful. That's the biggest thing I would tell an entrepreneur to do, is to talk to someone else who's done it before. Don't reinvent the wheel. Find out what works. I mean, we even still do this now. Trey's a part of a group that gets together every 6 months or a year, and they talk about what's working, what's not working. So even now, still 16 years in, we're still trying to get better, and we do that through the help of people that have done it and said, nope, this didn't work. Yes, this worked. And so, you know, using ideas and helping others do that is the biggest thing I would say.
Yeah, like he said, I found a group of other store owners that I really lean on, and if I have questions, and it's nice to have those people that you can go to that you feel confident that they have, you know, your same goals in mind, and that they really want to help you. And it's nice because we're all in different markets, so we can all help each other, and we're not competing. And so finding a group of people that you can lean on it and when you need something.
Yeah. Rising tide raises all ships, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So that's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to kind of sit with me or stand with me and go through all this stuff. So thank you again for jumping on. For everybody watching, thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it. If you know somebody or have somebody or want to just come in and check the store out yourself, come on by, take a look at these guys. You'll be impressed with it, right? There's a ton of opportunity, or there's a ton of selection here, whether it be from apparel to, I mean, the Garmin watches, to the shoes, to everything else. You'll be very impressed with what they have here. So please stop on by, give them a call, set up, go look for them on the races that they put on every single year. And then as well, if you are enjoying this content, please go and hit that subscribe button, go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. Give us that like, because it does help us grow the channel. But as always, please, please, please share this video with somebody that's interested in getting started running. Get them in touch with these two. Have them come down and look at what they've got here. Have them come in and get fitted, right? So, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And until next week, we'll see you then.